Hey everyone, welcome to week 8. It is Monday, October 26th, and I just wanted to check in, talk about what happened last week, and talk about what's happening this week. So I hope everyone's doing well. We're moving right along here, coming to the end of October, and then the semester really picks up speed. It feels like things start to move more quickly once we hit November. So hang in there. Make sure you take time for self-care. Reach out to me if you have questions. And the finish line it's in sight. So last week, there was this assignment where you were to write a summary of one of the sources for essay 2 and include a citation, MLA style citation. And about half the class didn't do this assignment. So if you want to still try to do it, you can, to get the points. But more importantly, this paper, it's asking you to choose one of the 8 essays from the chapter How We Work and to really explore it, summarize it, pick it apart, look at the claims that the author makes, look at the evidence he or she uses, right? And then you're supposed to find 2 outside sources, meaning they're not from the book. You find them on the web, you find them with the help of our librarian who's embedded in the course, you find them using the databases from the library on your own if you're comfortable with that. And those sources, those 2 sources that you find, either support or refute the claims that the author makes from your selected essay from our book. So that's the paper. Towards the end of the paper, maybe in the last paragraph before the conclusion, you can weigh in with your agree or disagree, with the claims. But really, like 90% of this paper is text-based. It's you integrating sources, incorporating sources, synthesizing sources, all that good stuff. So this was a useful exercise, I felt, and several people didn't get a chance to do it. So if you want to still try to get it in there, you can, but more importantly, hopefully you found your 2 outside sources, you have a solid grasp of the essay from the book that you're going to be writing about, and so you're on track with essay 2. I still have to grade the Alfie Kohn summaries, as you can see over here, and I will get to those over the next couple days. And then regarding the Zoom survey, or the survey about having a biweekly class Zoom, I believe this is yes, okay, so you can see we're tied here, folks wanting Monday or Tuesday. So what we'll probably do is alternate. In terms of time, it's the greatest response was actually for late afternoon between 2 and 4. So I think we'll stick with that. And 69% of respondents indicated that you think you will participate in the Zoom. So that is helpful. That is useful. So again, these will only be 30 minutes. They're not required. We'll probably start them next week on a Monday. And then 2 weeks later, it'll be on a Tuesday and so on. So realistically, we'll probably have about 3 of these before the end of the term, but I'm happy to do it, and I think the fact that 69% of students say that they take advantage of this, it makes me feel like this is definitely something worth doing. Okay, let's go back here and switch over to student mode. Okay, so this week, what are we doing this week? Week 8. 2 main things. Essay 2 is due on Sunday. And again, this essay is pretty lengthy. It is the second essay in a 102 class. There's only one more essay after this and then a final exam. And so we're looking for 4 to 5 pages, typed, double-spaced, 12-point Times New Roman font. So please stick to those guidelines. Even if you're using Google Docs, it has Times New Roman, and you can double space and things like that. 3 required sources, right? There's the primary text, which is the selection from our book, and then the 2 outside sources. And you can get familiar with using that terminology, right? So the primary source is the essay from the book. Could be Linda Torado, Mac McClellan, Mike Rose, Catherine Rampel, Matthew Crawford. Those come to mind as some of the more popular choices. Emily Badger, sometimes people pick. That's your primary source. The secondary sources, or your outside sources, are the 2 that you find outside of the book, right? They're going to support or refute, right? Support or challenge the claims that the author makes of your primary source. I think you've already looked through all of this. You can see that I did slightly modify the breakdown of the grades categories in terms of the criteria for the rubric. So that is due. So you definitely want to be working on that. And the other piece this week, the other big assignment is the midterm, right? So the midterm exam is due also on Sunday. The prompt for Alfie Kohn, one of the main reasons students aren't learning can be summed up in a single word: grades. In his essay, he makes a case for a major shift in how teachers grade student work. And he's mostly talking at the high school level, but I think it's applicable to higher ed as well. So for your midterm exam, you're going to write a multi-paragraph essay that addresses the following question. How do you think Christina Rizga, the author of another assigned reading this week, would respond to Cohn's idea that grades are problematic? Given her portrait of life at Mission High School in San Francisco, do you think that Rizga would consider the conventional grading system in the U.S. to be a problem? How does grading relate to the other problems with education today that Rizga highlights in her essay? And remember, you should assume that your reader's not familiar with either texts, right? They're not a student in this class. They haven't read Alfie Kohn's essay and they haven't read Christina Rizga's essay. So when you want to use those summary and paraphrase skills and provide context, use signal phrases, etc. When you think about the organization of this essay, and it should have at least an intro, body, and conclusion, right? At least 3 paragraphs. It could have more, depending on how much you can get done. In your introduction, you should really be mentioning both Rizga and Kohn. Okay, they should be introduced in your introduction because you're talking about them in comparison. What Kohn says about grading and the problems he identifies with grading. How does that fit in with Rizga and the problems that she identifies with education in the U.S.? Okay. Be sure to budget your time, and please do limit yourself to 2 hours. This isn't set up like a quiz that shuts off, but the final will. Okay, so the midterm, you're just kind of on your honor. When you do the final exam at the end of the semester, that will be a time, and it will shut off. From the moment you open it, you'll only have 2 hours to do the whole thing. So this is good practice. Okay. So that is it. There's no discussion board in this week. The chat room is still alive if people want to chime in. This revision checklist is something to go over before you submit Essay 2. And that's about it. I say that's about it, but I know that's a lot of work. So good luck. Ask me if you have questions. Reach out if you have questions. I think that's about it. Oh, there will be coming, if not tomorrow, then Wednesday, probably a video from me showing an example of a citation, or maybe a couple different types of citations. I think I did link to, there's a wonderful website. It's the Purdue OWL. It's the online writing lab from Purdue University. And let's see here. MLA. Okay. So this actually is a citation machine, a citation generator, which can be useful. But the main type of citation that you want to be referring to is when we go to books. Okay. Got it. Our book is considered an anthology. Yes, let's just keep going down here. Sorry about these ads. Okay. A work in an anthology, reference, or collection. So our book, Acting Out Culture, it's an anthology. That means it's a collection of different works that were all initially published somewhere else, right? Some of them came from magazines, some were excerpts from books that authors had written, but it's a compilation or a collection or an anthology. So this is the format, right? So it would be, say for example, if you were going to do Mike Rowe's Blue Collar Brilliance, it'd be Rose, comma, Mike, period, the title of the essay in quotation marks with the period there. The title of the collection is the title of the book, Acting Out Culture, comma, edited by James Miller, I believe, right? Comma, the name of the publisher, comma, the year it was published, comma, and then the page range, okay? And so here's an example of that. And for the page range, you do 2 lowercase p, period, and then the range, and then a period at the end. So this is what, when you're citing any of the essays from our book, this is the one to use. I will probably, like I said, though, this was a mini mini version of me going through this. I'll probably make another video either today or tomorrow where I go through this a little more clearly. And I might walk through kind of other examples. But the Purdue lab is a really helpful source for all things MLA related, and APA. They have APA as well, but we're using MLA. So, this was long, 10 minutes. Okay. Reach out if you have questions. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.